On the Ground Radio, heard on Richmond Independent Radio, WRIR LP FM at 97.3 and worldwide at WRIR.org. I'm your host, Sunny Gardner, and our guests today in the studios are representatives from the Prometheus Radio Project. Welcome, Corey Fisher-Hoffman and Andalusia Knoll. You're on a 5-week tour across the country, and it sounds like it's going to get a little bit longer if you take routes like you did today. They were heading from from Lexington to here, and ended up going by way of Fredericksburg. Anyone who knows Virginia knows they saw some beautiful parts of the country. And I kind of wonder if there are any low-power FM stations out that way. But since you're both solid radio people, I'd like to give you the reins and ask broad but incisive questions that get you going about community radio. And first, I'd like to know what you hope to achieve on this tour. What's the plan?
So in this 5-week-long outreach tour where we're networking with community organizations and social justice groups across the country, one of the main goals is to connect with both bilingual and immigrant Latino community organizations who are interested in starting low-power FM radio stations. Right now, the Prometheus radio station is a radio project that's involved in a campaign to expand low-power FM radio. The radio station that we're on right now is a low-power FM radio station. Back in 2000, when the opportunity opened for community organizations across the country to apply for these low-power FM radio stations, thousands and thousands of groups applied. However, shortly after the window opened, the National Association of Broadcasters, the big lobby industry for corporate media, lobbied Congress and got them to place unfair restrictions on the service, claiming that there were technical problems with having low-power radio stations close to full-power radio stations. However, since the 2003 MITRE report came out, proving conclusively that interference is not an issue, we've been working hard in Congress to reverse these restrictions, to change the law so that there can be more spaces for low-power FM radio stations across the country, allowing many of the groups who were kicked out from applying back in 2000 to apply, as well as many new organizations who maybe have never thought about using radio as a tool for social justice organizing, but are interested in thinking about how radio could be used as a tool to build community, to build participation and communication, and to work on campaigns that they're organizing around for social and economic justice.
We feel that we need to take the airwaves back, or actually just take the airwaves and distribute them among the people, because airwaves they're a public resource, and communication, it's a right, not a privilege, and we believe that everyone should have the right to communicate. And what they say, we have the First Amendment and everyone has the right to free speech, but we say, what does the right to free speech mean if you don't have the right to be heard? And part of having access to the media is the right to be heard. And therefore, we believe that by taking, the fire or the radio airwaves from these powerful corporations and distributing amongst the people, amongst communities, amongst social justice organizations, amongst, any small organization across the country that does not already have any access to the airwaves, that is our way of spreading the fire.
Support the Local Community Radio Act. We want to see you vote in favor of this legislation. Now is the time to move it. It's Senate Bill 592, and we need every senator to get on board. We're working to pass this legislation. This is the year to do it. We're ready. There's so many groups across the country who call Prometheus all the time who want to start low-power FM radio stations. Now's the time to act. Call your senator and say support S592, the Local Community Radio Act, and tell them from your heart, what is it that you want to hear in your community that you're not hearing? That's the important message.